Alright, well, I just got done in REI in Appleton. I was hoping to pick up a new day pack, which they unfortunately didn't have. And was also hoping to pick up the Atlas, the full Atlas for the Ice Age Trail, which they also didn't have. He had two of them as of yesterday, and then apparently they sold both of those. So hopefully I'll be able to grab the Atlas at the trailhead at Potawatomi State Park. They may have it there. But yeah, drove about 20 miles, maybe 20 minutes out of my way to come to Appleton. So not a big deal. Not a big deal. My next live stream will probably be, as I'm waiting for the Uber, I might live stream then. Or I might just live stream from the trailhead as I step off to, to start my trek. So that's it. I think my cab is here. Uber wasn't much help, but I'm gonna hop out here, and the next live feed will be from the easternmost terminus. All right, well, just doing a last minute check of everything, making sure that I didn't leave anything in the cab. I actually have to hike about 2 miles to get to the easternmost terminus at this point, and then I'll come back, go the other way. So today's hike is actually going to be about 9 miles. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on here right at the moment. I'll start a live broadcast again when I get to the easternmost terminus and actually start my trip. So frustratingly, like Uber, which is supposed to be all the rave, could not arrange a ride for me. So I sat, waited for Uber to tell me twice that they couldn't arrange a ride. And so that was a bit frustrating, of course. And of course they charged me twice, $16.95 for no ride. So I'll be give them a call about that one. So, but neither here nor there. So my next live feed will actually be where I'm starting off, getting going. But I'm here, I'm at Potawatomi State Park, and getting started. So I am here at the easternmost terminus of the Ice Age Trail. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around and just give you guys a quick look at the vista and the scenery. Now, I had to hike 3 miles to get to this point, which is where I should have started my hike to begin with. But there was a little bit of confusion with the drop-off point. I got some pictures. Easternmost. And as I come back here, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here. They just going to go ahead and get the basics. And so long story short, and we'll cover it when I get back to the hotel room, I think. Basically, I had to hike here because they closed the road for this season. So here I am at the trailhead. Before I get started, I'll stop and take a picture here as well, just to commemorate the moment. The trail actually starts there and hikes down around Tower Road. I'll stop to take pictures as I go. But I'm just gonna grab a couple of more pictures to post and get this jacket packed away because I'm sweating and that's not good. And then I'm gonna be on my way. So I am here officially starting my New Year's resolution a day early. I got about 6 miles, no, about 7 miles left. So because of the confusion, it's gonna be 10, 11 miles today, and that's okay. I'm up for it. Just want to get moving on it. So I will check in from time to time and hopefully make it interesting for everybody. Won't just be pictures. And I'm just checking in quite conveniently. Have this nice geological feature. I don't know. I'm not a geologist, but yeah. You can see behind the trees there. I don't know. I'm not sure what type of rock that's called, but I do know that from people on my message group there that our students at Bristol have been studying the Ice Age Trail. So when I get back, I will certainly see if I can ask them to tell me what type of rock this is. I suspect that it would be maybe some sort of granite, slate, or possibly fossilized, like ocean bed stuff. I don't know for sure. I'm just speculating. So, but I am kind of picking my way through here. And yes, I did have to hike to start my hike. That was kind of crazy. I hiked 3 miles to start my hike because I couldn't get dropped off at the easternmost terminus because the road was closed. I'll show that maybe a little later on the map tonight at some point. Just enjoying the scenery right now. So far, I mean, I got a really late jump. It'll probably be dark by the time I get back to the car. But, so, a little bit about where I'm at. I'm at Potawatomi State Park, which is actually, not only is it the easternmost terminus of the Ice Age Trail, but it is also the lowest point. Whoops, almost slipped. I have all these roots here, and so yeah. But so I got traffic up ahead here, so I'm going to finish my feed. But yeah, it's the lowest point in elevation of the entire Ice Age Trail. So little fun fact there. So I'm going to cut the feed now so these people don't think I'm crazy. So this is the kind of terrain right now that makes me nervous at this time of year. I'd rather be going up that part than down. But yeah, it is what it is. See if I can get through here with this. If the camera goes flying, call for help. No, should be okay. This is, you never know what you're gonna actually have for traction on these rocks, because they can look, yep, they can look like they're okay, and these are actually okay, but sometimes they can look like they're safe and they're not going to be slippery, and they got a thin sheet of ice on there, and you try to go flying. So anyways, yep, navigated that fairly easily. I came down from right up there. So yep. gotta watch my battery power. I have a backup battery in the backpack, but I don't like to rely on those. There's more of that rock that has moss on it, moss or whatever. I just think that looks so cool back there in the woods. There's one of those. It's in the ground. So I know that, you know, strewn about there are like erratics that were dropped by the glacier, by the lobes. I suspect I'll see a lot of that as I make my way along this trail. Up we go. That'll be the one that trips me up. Coming up here on a view of a harbor or a bay, or yeah. And I'm not really good with geography or anything like that. I just like being outside. I think I'd be better at it, but hey, I know what erratics are. That's a bonus, right? I worked at a public school, so I may have to, if I share this with some of the kids that I work with, I may have to edit some of it. I don't want to be saying things that don't make any sense and have the students get dumber as a result. Oop, we got a pooch right here. So I am officially out of Potawatomi State Park, and I'm on Duluth Avenue, Duluth Road. It's part of a connecting trail. So essentially there's no trail from here to the Anahe trailhead, which is the trailhead that's shared with I don't even know if I said the name right, but well, there's just a connecting trail between the 2 points, the 2 established trails. Basically, this is what it amounts to. So I been walking here and looking at there's some really nice properties out here. Just up on the hill behind me, there's this amazing log cabin. You know, I've obviously got a respect for the owner. I didn't want to show it, but this is really gorgeous. Overlooking the bay, right by a marina now. Just kind of hiking by. I don't know. To my left, it might be a hotel, motel. Who knows? I know there's look like a little bar there. Could have stopped in and got a tonic and lime. Yeah, Beach Harbor Resort. So it's a little resort. So, little place, not too bad. The temperature has dropped fast. I had to stop and yank my book out just to make sure that I'm getting the right roads. I gotta go, I think it's Duluth to Joliet to Madison and then down. So there's gonna be a lot of urban areas here. A lot of places to stop and warm up. I do have my jacket in the pack. I just don't want to spend a whole lot of time taking the pack off, putting it back on. So, yeah, enough of that boring stuff. I'm going to enjoy the walk. If I see anything interesting, obviously I'll take pictures or, you know, come back online. But, yeah, I'm done with the Potawatomi portion of the trail. It was about, well, all told, I think it was about 6-7 miles. Yeah, the thing about, you know, these little hiccups is by the time I'm done with this today, I don't want to harp on it too much, but I'll have done 11 miles actually by the time I get to the car, because I had to hike to my starting point because they closed off the close off the road that went to it. So, anyways, couldn't just drive up there and get dropped off. So, I'm a little frustrated. Uber, I got a late jump because I tried like three times to schedule a ride. Note to self, bring your own shuttle service. So it's just, but it doesn't matter. I don't mind the extra miles, I guess. I really don't. So thinking about tomorrow, I might do 14 instead of having a cab come get me and drive me to my starting point. I might just go down and back. Got all day. I've done 13 miles before in colder weather, so considering doing that. Should only take about 5 hours, maybe. So got plenty of water. You know, it'll be okay. So anyways, I'm shutting this thing down for now. I'll check back in when I get to the trailhead for the last portion. In the meantime, I think I might actually need to start charging my phone. All right, so coming up on the harbor or the bay or whatever, and the rest of this hike is going to be through urban areas. But one thing that I noticed is that, and it's kind of strange to me, is that the further away from the harbor you go, you can actually feel the temperature change. So like right now, I'm absolutely fine. Not really cold at all. It's kind of, it seems to me right now that it's kind of the inverse of, you know, what one might think, or it gets colder. Like I'm so used to Lake Michigan where, you know, you get really close to that lake and it's freezing cold. It's significantly colder than it is, you know, right inland, right by, you know, by Bristol. Sorry, I'm reading street signs as I go. I got to get to Joliet Avenue, but yeah, I'm actually. It seems to me that it's warmer down by this this water than it is. It was about a mile and a half back that way. So just weird. I don't know. Could be a shift in the wind. Who knows? But it's been pretty consistent though. When I'm close to the harbor, I'm warmer. So, but either way, I'm gonna switch the camera around. Coming around, I got Joliet Avenue. Lots of resorts over there. Wow. And there's a huge, massive yacht over there. I don't know if you can see that peeking through the trees. The big ships. Very cool, very cool. All right, I'm gonna check in a little later. All is well so far, so I'm really enjoying the hike. It's real peaceful, so I'll check in a little later. All right. Well, I am back in the car. The lighting's not the best, but it'll do. I'm gonna unload all my maps here. I also got to stop, pardon me, while I work through this. I got to stop all my I have to stop all my trackers for distance and stuff. So about 11 miles. I'll get the actual distances later, but I am back to the car and I'm gonna go get some fish fry. So probably either Kitty O'Reilly. So I've checked in to my room, Snug Harbor. I'm sure it's beautiful during the day. I got in after dark. So I didn't get to see a whole lot of it, but absolutely nice and cozy. Turn this around here so you can see the down there. Some grills, and it's right on the lakefront here. I got a bayside window, so I'll wake up in the morning and be able to see the view. For right now, I'm going to go ahead, and this is a Guinness Zero, which I just found out they made. Thank you. I believe her name was Cat B out at Kitty O'Reilly's Irish pub. Introduced me to those. And then, as always, as is my habit and my tradition, first night, the good old reliable Christoph Connecticut is the, you can't see it. Christoph Connecticut will be the cigar of the evening. So, with that, I'm going to punch out for the evening and might come back on. I actually might come back on to talk about where those extra miles came in at this afternoon. But all in all, it was a great start to the. What a day! What a day! The trail took me through some wooded areas, but for the most part, it was a lot of urban hiking. I went through I don't know they would call it downtown, but I went through a very urban area with a lot of little shops and stuff like that. And then literally it was a lot of hiking on the road. That was primarily the connecting trail. So anyways, I'm going to punch out here for a moment and listen to some of my REI camp monsters and just enjoy for a few minutes. All right. Well, I've had some time to kind of just relax and decompress from the hike today. It was 11 miles. Actually 11 miles on the nose. There was no 0.6 of a mile or anything like that. And when discussing this previously, I had talked about the first half of the Sturgeon Bay segment being, the first half being 7 miles. Basically, let me see if I can open up the book here. What I did today was I went from right up here, and they moved the easternmost terminus to right here. It used to be up here. They moved it to right here. And that's where I took all the pictures and everything. And my hike today was supposed to take me from here all the way down around through here. It comes down to Duluth Avenue. And then there was a lot of urban hiking from Duluth over to Hickory to Joliet to Madison, and then Madison to Green Bay, all the way down to U Street. I actually didn't do this portion here. I kind of cut straight down this way on Lansing Street, cut over, and then I cut over through here. And this segment here was actually through a farm field, and there, let me see here, right through here, if you can see where I'm pointing, right through here, that was like a industrial park type thing. There's a lot of Conex containers and stuff like that. So I just went down through here, and this part I stayed on, the trail, obviously. And then this part right here is on a road. This is, South Nina Avenue. And so this is actually where I started my day, right here. I had parked my car here. So we'll get to that in a second. So here you can see where she marked the easternmost terminus for me, the lady at the ranger station. And right here, this red X marks the drop-off point. This is, you can drive your car up to here and park it here and hop out and hike over, and on this ski trail you can hike over and get to the terminus. And then there's actually a trail that kind of comes out around here, and this is kind of the path that I took. There's a trail that kind of comes out around here, and then actually, and it's not marked on the winter map, this is the winter use map, and you kind of go through a couple other things, and then you end up like right here, sort of. It's kind of hard to explain without the visual of the trail, you know. And then, you know, I obviously just followed this down all the way down here to Duluth Road. Now, all of this makes sense, right? Except, obviously, from this point to this point, that's not an additional 2 miles. That's not an additional 4 miles. Keep in mind that this first segment was only supposed to be like 7 miles. So where did those other miles come in at? Well, like I said in this morning, I parked my car here and ended up, this is after I got done doing all the running back and forth, because I ran from here and then I went up to the ranger station right here, and I got the winter map and everything like that. I bought myself a new the 2023 sticker, and talked to the lady. She marked it up for me, called a cab because I couldn't get a hold of Uber because they couldn't work that out for some reason. So I called a cab and then raced back down here. And by the time I got down here, I was literally in the car for maybe 30 seconds and the cab had arrived. The thing about that is that the cab, the lady that drove the cab, I want to switch over to the close-up. She dropped me off right here instead of taking me to the ranger station right here. The ranger had assumed that I would take a car and go up here, take the paved road, and go around and, you know, make my way up on the paved road up to this X where I would get dropped off at, which absolutely did not happen. I got dropped right here. And so I literally, to start my hike, I hiked the Potawatomi section twice. So I hiked all the way through here, up through here, ended up going on this red trail here, went this way, and again on this particular map, it's not exactly accurate, but there's a through trail that goes right here and then comes around to here. And so, you know, this is where I started I actually had to hike to start my hike, as I've jokingly said multiple times now. But that's what happened today. So that's where those extra miles came in at. So, by the time I got down to here, I had already hiked like 4 or 5 miles, something like that. Maybe even more. So, but along that whole route, again, there was only like a 74 foot elevation change. tomorrow I'll be hiking from here along the Anapi State Trail. First segment is about on this portion of the map about 1.5 miles, and then I'll continue over here, and we're looking at a segment of about there's about 7 miles, I believe. And this would complete the Sturgeon Bay segment. So that's the plan for tomorrow. I might actually do a down and back because I don't necessarily want to pay for a cab again tomorrow. The prospect of paying $90, over 3 days for cab fare, is just not appealing to me. So, Sunday, I was hoping to hike the Forestville segment, and so that would be starting here at Maplewood and coming down to here and then ending on this page. I would come down here and then end right here. And that segment is 9 miles, I believe. I'll check that. Nope, it doesn't show. Let's check again over here. It's 9.8 miles for that segment. Now, I would not do a down and back there because it's it'd be 18 miles round trip, so that's not going to happen. So I might save the cab fare for New Year's Day. Either way, 14-mile hike sounds a lot better than a 20-mile hike. So that's the plan. Other than that, nothing else too exciting. Lots of fun today. Urban hiking, I don't know. It's just not as good as being in the woods. It's just not as relaxing. But I did get to see some interesting shops today, and so it wasn't that bad. So other than that, I'm just gonna call it a night. Well, I am up a little later than I'd like to be. I guess not really. I guess I'm right on time. I'm not on any real itinerary, I guess, but I thought it would be fun if I haven't seen the bay yet, like in daylight. I haven't seen what it looks like. So I thought it might be cool if everybody who does watch this sees it kind of the same time I do. I don't think it's like going to be fireworks or anything, but just for giggles. So let's see here. Let's see what this looks like out here. Oh, nice. All right. Just stepped out. There's the bay. I was out here last night walking around. You see the ice pushing up there, buckling. Every once in a while on Travel Channel you see the ice pushing up on the shore, and you think, it's just special effects or it's time lapse. I don't know if that's really the case. I'm not sure. Oh, we got a dog staring at me. I kept hearing that last night, that sound over there. I went out to check it out. You hear that in the dark, and then I actually went all the way out there too, to the end of the pier with my cigar, just to enjoy. It's pretty nice. So I don't know if you guys caught the dog on the porch. My dog would be going ape shit at this point. So you gotta watch out for doggy landmines. So try not to get. And this place they made a lot of use out of a very little bit of land. So on the way to the car, and probably gonna go have breakfast somewhere and get some calories. Last night I had to consume, like, I don't know, I calculated out it was something like 4,000 or 5,000 calories, because I hadn't eaten all day. It was insane. Might have been 4, but anyways, it was hard. I was sitting there just eating out of a bag of munchies, they call them, and I was already full. Like, just didn't have room for anything else. So, but that's a good problem to have, I guess. So, all right, I am off. I'm gonna go get some breakfast, and then the next time I live stream from here, I will be at the trailhead. Today is most likely going to be a 14 miler instead of a 7. Reason being, I do not want to leave here having paid $90 in. I don't want to leave here having paid $90 in cab fees. That's ridiculous. It was $30 to go 6 miles. 6 miles. It's ridiculous. So now on, I'm gonna be looking at bringing my own shuttle service, that's for sure. Come on out with me. I'll pay for your campsite. All right, so I'm not going to drive and do this. I'll see y'all after breakfast. So it occurred to me that if I do a down and back on the Ice Age Trail at 7 miles one way, the round trip's going to be 14. Forestville segment's 9, so if I did both segments, the Forestville segment and the Sturgeon Bay segment, that would be a total of 16 miles, alternative to 14 miles. Kind of stinks because called 3-4 different cab services, and none of them are interested in picking up in Algoma today. So that makes doing the 16 mile and just knocking out both segments today not an option, which would have been the better option actually. When I was younger, my max range was like 18 miles or something like that. I've done a 13 miler with minimal weight, and I was absolutely fine. So it stands to reason that I would, if I had a shuttle or had access to another vehicle, stands to reason that I could do that. I could knock out both segments today, just be done with it. As it sits now, I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to get a cab tomorrow to finish off the Forestville, so I may have to come back, and that's disappointing. But I do like Door County. It gives me a reason to come back. Everything's a little more expensive around here, but it is what it is. So all the driving around I'm doing, trying to get mileages and stuff like that, I've actually becoming more familiar with the area. And yeah, that's that. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes. I think 14 miles is going to be what it is today, even though again it's replotting the same trail. It's just frustrating as all get out that that I have to do that. It's maddening, actually, but well, it gives me opportunity to see the sites twice. I was actually kind of just hoping to be able to knock both of them out today and get a good jump tomorrow and get home, see my dog, pick my dog up, but we'll see what happens. So my next post will come from, or my next check-in will come from the trailhead, the same one I parked at yesterday, because again I got to do it down and back, which is, at least that's what I call it. So this is just, it's a lesson learned. Make sure that there's going to be available like rides and so on. So ate breakfast at an interesting little place, Morning Glory by the Bay, I guess. It's a little, basically was a home that was converted in, the front end of it was converted into a dining area, restaurant. Food was hot, it was good. So stopped at a Quick Trip, got some coffee, managed to spill that all over the front seat of the car, well, the front floor mat. So that'll need to be cleaned up when I get home. But yeah, so now I'm just on my way back. I'll check in when I get to the trailhead. Well, I'm off to a slow start, but that's all right. I got my jacket on right now. It'll be only a little while before I shed that. Kind of feeling like I'm going to end up having to bust out the crampons here, because this is, I guess, was like an old railroad bed or something at some point. That's what it was. But this portion of the trail looks to be flat and it's groomed, peat gravel, whatever, so it's frozen, that's for sure. That's gonna make the going slippery, and I'm not gonna be able to take full steps. I'll cut down on my mile times, but that's all right. So, well, I'm gonna cross here, this bustling street. Not really, it's a country road. So, something that I found about this backpack that I have now, it's actually much more comfortable without the hip strap on. So I've had this thing for years. It's only a 30 liter, so there's really no reason, I guess, for it to have a hip strap. I'm definitely gonna pause here at the next bench to get out the spikes. I believe I packed them. That'll be the next thing. Get and pack the spikes. I think I feel them there in the bottom. I know I packed them, but which bag they're in is anybody's guess. I have 3 bags. I have my computer bag. I have my clothing bag. And I have my day bag. So, but we're off. I got all day to do it, I guess. So, no big hurry. Even if it takes me till 4 or 5, that'll be fine. So, but yep, I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time yakking just yet. I'm gonna get some miles in and see how it goes. So, again, it's gonna have to buckle down and do it. 14 miles down and back. So, it is what it is. I'll check in. Nope. Seems to be never ending, doesn't it? It's just this long, straight trail. But you never get there unless you start going. It's a metaphor, of course. A lot of farmland, a lot of old farms out here. Probably been in their families for generations. Deer hunting stands all over the place. You can see 2 of them out there in the distance. I put the spikes on. They definitely make walking on this ice way better. I haven't slipped once. Is that even proper English? I don't know. Yeah, there's an improved traction, let's just say. So, at least I didn't say way more better. That'd have been, I don't know. But, I'll laugh at myself. I had to shed the jacket. It was just getting way too hot. And right now it's weird because there's no, it's kind of like no perfect, I'm a little chilly in my sweater. Suppose a proper base layer would have helped that, but no big deal. Not a big deal. I probably should invest in one of those though. But yeah, I'm just taking it all in. Little stream right there. Both sides. Again, I believe this was once, if I've read the information right, this was once a rail bed for, well, I don't even remember the name of the railway or the company, but I thought I heard a turkey over there. It's just my cleats, my spikes echoing. So, but yeah, it just keeps going and going and going. About 2, maybe 3 miles in, maybe, and feeling really good. Halfway to my turnaround point, if that's the case. So, you know, 4 hours maybe. 4 hours, 14 miles. Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. I might even be back to the inn with enough time to catch the sunrise or the sunset over the bay. That'd be kind of cool. The room faces southwest, I believe. Southwest, I think. So that would be sunset for sure if it's southwest, obviously. So, especially this time of year. So, but coming up on a road here, I'm doing pretty good. I've found there's this cool little place to sit, so I took a 5-minute break and had some coffee. It's probably why I got warm all of a sudden, obviously. But now at this point, I've had way too much caffeine, I think. So, had way too much. But I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to cross this road and check in a few. Probably once I get to the turnaround point, I'll check in and let everyone know how I'm doing. All in all, you know, the situation with the cab, I'm not going to let that ruin the hike. when I have de-stressed and let that one go, and that's what you got to do. Worry about the things you can't control. Now I just got to worry about not slipping and breaking my neck. So, or, whatever. I just need to worry about getting down and back. Nothing else really matters. That's why I love hiking. Being out in the wilderness is, being out on a trail. It is, you have to be aware of what you're doing. All your modern concerns kind of take a back seat. Hope I'm not ruining my spikes by walking on this asphalt there. But yep, you just get a chance to, it's almost meditative, cheaper than therapy, I'll tell you that much. Get to get out and just reconnect and get some dirt under your feet. Feels good. So, not to be too philosophical or whatever you might want to call it. But, all right, I'll check in a few. Well, I am just sitting here. I'm actually sitting on the ground. Yep, that is an outhouse behind me. There's no bench here at this at the end of this segment. I have reached the end of the Sturgeon Bay segment at this point. So that segment is now complete. I can actually proudly say that I hiked it twice. And yes, I am still, it is 32 degrees out, and I am in a t-shirt and just this. And it's not like it's not a macho thing. It's not anything to do with that. It's not, how much cold can you tolerate? It's not that stupid high school boy in me that's sitting out in 32 degree weather and Crocs and shorts in high school because I can. It's it really is that it's just I'm working up a sweat. I can show you. So even in just this sweatshirt and a t-shirt, no base layer, I still worked up a sweat carrying this pack. This pack has definitely seen better days. I need to get that Osprey, but you can see the discoloration here and there, and no, it's not the water bladder leaking. That is still intact. That is, in fact, not to be gross, that's sweat. And I've always said, and I say it over and over and over again, if you're sweating in the wintertime when you perspire, that sweat evaporates, and that evaporation process makes your body feel colder. So it's when you're out doing cold weather stuff, it is bad to sweat, because you will just get colder. My feet are pretty warm. I'm wearing my mountaineering socks. I decided to keep the Keens because they'll make a good year-round hiking boot, I guess. They're definitely not winter hikers, I will say that much. Not necessarily REI's fault. I get that. They, sell the product, that's it. I just can't believe that they recommended it for winter hiking. Again, actually, they're not that bad, but shame on Keen, really, for saying they're good down to negative 25 degrees below zero, because I can tell you they absolutely are not. Like right now, I'm just sitting here and I can feel the warmth escaping the toe box. And to their credit, the people at Keen said, well, that, honestly, we can't, that's not really right. There's no insulation in the toe box. But, so yeah, I'm just going to keep them and beat the shit out of them. And I'll wear them out and then have to buy another pair. Probably wear them out in 1,000 miles or so. So I'm just taking a load off, letting my knees take a break. I got about 2 hours and 14 minutes back to the car. That'll put me back to the car right around 3 o'clock. Then there might be a point of interest that I can hit up before dark. Some sort of archaeological dig site. Might be able to go there and check that out. I'm going to have to work on framing stuff if I'm going to continue doing this, because it doesn't look right with the outhouse in the background. That's not a cool picture, but yeah. So I'm just going to sit here, rest up for a minute, grab a bite, and I bought a ham sandwich from the gas station. I'm sure I'll not get sick from that. It was from a quick trip, so it'll be fine. But yeah, I'm gonna repack. Looking at my gear here, actually, it might be time to get a new jacket too. I'm like, got my use out of this Columbia. I'll tell you what, there's nothing warmer than these Columbia jackets with the Omni Heat. They're really nice. So anyways, that's it. I'll check in a few when I'm back on the trail. Well, I'm stepping back off here and getting back on the trail, heading back. I'm gonna cross the road here. I'm in Maplewood, and it's a cool little town. I guess it's some closed shops there. Gonna wait to cross, so it's a nice little 360. So I'm gonna get going here real quick. Wait to cross. You can smell the wood burning heaters. And all of a sudden, now that I need to cross and I'm standing in snow and my feet are freezing, all of a sudden it's rush hour in downtown Maplewood. Holy wow. The entire time I was sitting there drinking coffee and eating my lunch, right? I didn't see a single vehicle roll through. As soon as I am standing in a snowbank waiting to cross, there's like 5 cars. But I had to get up and get moving. It was starting to get cold again, so I'd rolled up my Columbia and stowed it away, and I don't really want to unpack it, of course. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get moving now, get me warmed up. Yeah, Maplewood was a cool little town. Maplewood and the Cranberry Marsh. Though the station in Maplewood supposedly closed in 1902, the line had a depot there until 1944. In 1918, a 20-foot by 32-foot depot was built, and a 60-foot turntable structure that turns trains around was installed. The turntable, however, was moved 3 years later to Scandinavia, which is located some 80 miles away in Wapaka County. The depot and freight houses were present in Maplewood until 1944, when the A&W, the Anape and Western, finally abandoned the stop. By 1946, the buildings were completely torn down. Besides snow, the Cranberry Marsh was the other major problem that plagued the road. This frustration was compiled by quick and hurried construction through this area, as well as the use of a rail that was too light in relation to the harsh environment of northeastern Wisconsin. The main problem was due to water and ice that constantly covered the rail, which in turn would cause derailment. Well, that's a problem. In 1904 and 1905, the first major construction to curb this problem began. 20 feet of lumber was placed underneath the tracks to elevate it above the soggy ground. This, however, did not work. Wooden dikes and dams were then constructed alongside of the tracks in order to route the water, and the swamp was even drained. Both attempts failed to solve the problem. After years of headaches, including a 3-week isolation period of Sturgeon Bay, Frank Seymour, then superintendent of Green Bay and Western, determined to cure the marsh problem permanently. In 1913, work began on the project. First, large sheets of metal were sunk parallel to the tracks. Then 45 feet of fill material, such as trees, brush, and gravel, were dropped in until the limestone bedrock was reached. This was done for some 400 feet, and when completed, the track was moved to the new solid foundation. This project cost the company over $25,000. Oh my Lord. That's probably a big sum of money back then. Not $25,000. And after 4 months of construction, the Cranberry Marsh was defeated. When one thinks about it, this was a lot of work for a relatively small line. However, it was a necessity in order for it to function properly. The trail now enters the marsh, and you will be able to see the challenges the line faced. So as we come up to some of those marshes, I will actually, I've taken pictures, but I actually live stream those. And so, yeah, earlier, when I was talking about this being formerly a rail line, I guess that's what it was. Man, I got to keep moving because I am getting bitter cold. I'm getting chilly. So that was pretty interesting to think about it, that they invested so heavily in in making this small stem of the railway functional. Must have meant a lot to them. I haven't done a whole lot of research on it, just what I read back there, of course, but still, that's pretty interesting, and a lot of times, especially back in the 1900s, railways, that was the only thing, that was the mass transit, that was the lifeline a lot of times. So it's kind of easy to see, once that started to go out, why so many of the buildings around here have been abandoned. It's interesting that there was a turntable around here at one point. I think it might have been back by where I was sitting, perhaps not. I'd like to look up some pictures of that and see what that looked like back in the day. So $25,000. You can't even, I suppose, obviously back then that was a large sum of money. But if you think about it, given how much money railways and rail companies and train companies made during the heyday, the golden era of rail travel, I certainly don't see that being a significant, financial investment for a rail company. Well, that being said, though, the A&W probably would have been a lot more I'll try that one again in English. Well, I guess the A&W may have been a lot more prominent if it had been featured on the Monopoly board, maybe. A lot more prosperous. Who was it? Milton Bradley? Thanks a lot, guys. Seriously. Missed a mark on there. Anyways, that's nonsense. So we can kind of see, I'm going to flip this around here. You can kind of see some of what they were talking about here. Not necessarily, I don't think this is a cranberry bog. Maybe on the other side through those trees there. But I don't know. It just seems that that's all flooded there. It's not a cranberry bog, I wouldn't believe. But interestingly, well, a little fun fact, I have an uncle, I believe Uncle Alton, who had a cranberry farm. So I kind of know what cranberry bogs look like. He had a cranberry farm in southern Michigan, southwestern Michigan. And I certainly didn't pay any attention to, or, you know, I didn't see any significant signs that the swamp area that I was walking through, or the area that I was walking through, had once been cranberry bog. But, you know, but it would make sense. So a lot of cranberry bogs in the, I guess, in the Great Lakes and Midwest region. Something about, I mean, something about soil qualities and water and whatnot. He had it down to a science. So when he would tell me about it, I was young, 16, 17. So when he would tell me about it, though, however, I was young, I was 16, and didn't have the requisite knowledge, and probably being 16 and 17, being focused on cars and girls, I probably didn't have a whole lot of interest in it. So, but being an adult, that's, you know, you look back on it and kind of lament, you know, some of the opportunities you miss to learn things. So, this is a marshy area. Again, I don't, you know, seeing any kind of evidence of a cranberry bog. This is definitely a marsh, though. This is a swampy area, and I could see how in the spring, maybe, that would be a problem. Ice would definitely. So I'm dropping in and out of service here, so I'm just gonna punch out here, keep hiking. So I just thought this was interesting. I don't know why, but you can hear my spikes echo. It sounds like, yeah, I don't know. It sounds like little gunshots when I walk. I don't know if you can pick that up on the microphone, but sounds like somebody like chopping wood. So, incidentally, this is the only thing I've seen right here that even remotely resembles the cranberry bogs that I saw, you know, growing up. And I think I thought it was Uncle Alton, but it might have been Uncle Dave. Really can't recall, but I think it was Uncle Dave, actually. But yeah, that's the only thing that I have seen on this whole portion of the, so far, that resembles a cranberry bog. Some of you, I just assume that everybody knows what a cranberry bog is, but just in case, basically a cranberry bog is where they float cranberries and let them mature or whatever, and then they harvest them from the bog because cranberries float, they're buoyant. So something with the process of maturing them, you got to have them in one of those bogs. But there's some erratics right there and there, and there. It's a little crazy to think that those boulders, those rocks, have been here for a long time. A long time. Let me see. That looks almost like it's man-made though. So, but some of them, that guy right there, some of them probably haven't moved in millions of years actually. So, I mean, you assume. So, this portion of the trail again is incredibly flat, really easy. Just a flat, well-groomed trail. It's I don't want to say it's mundane. It's a nice walk, but it doesn't have the well, it doesn't. I don't know. To me, it just doesn't have the visual appeal of being in a moraine, or where you can see the outcrops and the layers of the rock and all of that. I kind of like those areas, the Devil's Lake areas. It's a little more undulating, and kind of like those areas. They're a bit more of a challenge, and those are hard-earned miles there. So, especially with the elevation changes. Here it's just, you're just hiking through farm fields, which again is okay. It's a nice easy hike, easy miles. So, strewn on either side of this though, because it is private property, strewn on either side, you'll come across the occasional discarded tractor tire. You'll come across, I don't know, trying to see what that is. Oop, little sparrow. Looks like a fallen tree. That's the root ball. But yeah, you'll come across like reminders and no trespassing signs, which you can't blame them. You come across again discarded parts, farming equipment. Some of it's pretty cool looking. If it's equipment like old combines or whatever, but once you've seen one tractor tire, you've seen them all. So, whoa, there's a deer. Holy shit. He just went through that fence, and I think he's hurt. I don't know. He scared me. I didn't see him. It was a big old buck. I got that live. That was pretty cool. I hope he's okay. He just went through some barbed wire or a fence like it was nothing. That was insane. Wow. That was so cool. I hope that he's okay. I'm gonna come around here and see if I can get a better view of him. Poor guy. What a beautiful animal though. He's beautiful. Just, oh my God, the strength. Oh wow. Maybe he knocked himself out. I don't know. He is gone. Hopefully he's okay. Let's see. Wow. That was amazing. That was definitely a first. I scared the daylights out of him. I apologize for the language. He scared me. I didn't even see him. He came out of nowhere. He's over there on that side of the trail and just bolted across. I don't know how he didn't hear me coming until I got right up on him. He's probably long gone by now. I just wish I knew he was okay for certain. Well, I'm going to carry on and let him be. Hopefully he's fine. I would assume he has. Those things are tanks. Well, you know what? Sorry, guys. I know it's shaky. I got to go back and check and make sure he's not injured. I'm relatively certain he hit that fence. And that's a sturdy fence. Where'd he go through? I think he went through like right there. And he just barreled through that. Oh, you can see right there. I think he knocked all that over. He just barreled through there. Yeah. You can see the post right there bent. All right. Enough's enough. We're going to get going. Wow. So how cool was that? Did anybody else see that? I got some people on watching right now. And I caught that live. That was pretty cool. That's not every day. Startled me so bad. I think I scared him more than he scared me. But the antlers on that guy, wow. I mean, yeah, really, really cool. All right, well, I'm gonna get back to hiking here. Gonna savor that one again. I think he was okay. So, all right. Well, I'll check back in as I get closer to the end. Thank all of you guys for watching and tuning in. If you caught that, it was an opportune moment to tune in. Couldn't have timed it any better. See here, kind of on either side of this. That's all icy swamp right there. So, I mean, right down there, it's almost level with the trail. So I would assume that those were problem areas where they were talking about like the ice derailing trains and whatnot. So, getting close to the trailhead here. When it's all said and done, it won't be 14 miles actually. It'll be like more like 13 miles, 12 miles, 12, 13 miles. So, but 23, 24 miles in 2 days. Pretty good. Yeah. So this is the area I think they may have been referring to where the ice and the snow come up over the tracks. You can see that it, especially right up here, Right here, I could see that definitely happening. You can see, even with all the efforts, that comes right up, that swamp comes right up the edge of this trail. Trail ends like right here. That's the edge of the trail. So, a bit of an interesting area. So, anyways, yeah, just thought I'd show that. Eat your heart out, Blair Witch. My camera works way shakier. Ooh, it's spooky. Not really. I'll never forget the first time I saw that found footage in Blair Witch. I got so motion sick. With all the camera shaking. Now I'm doing it to other people. Well, Happy New Year's, everyone. Sorry, I'm looking at a text message that popped up on the screen. Happy New Year. I am ringing it in quite differently this year. Definitely has been, 2022 has been absolutely a fork in the road for me. It's just tonic and lime. At the start of 2022, I never really thought I would be spending ringing in 2023 here. Never would have crossed my mind. But these things, stuff happens for a reason. And here I am out in Snug Harbor, enjoying a campfire next to a massive, beautiful harbor at a nice little cozy inn. Gonna ring in the new year with a nice Cohiba Platinum cigar. Yeah, it's just a reminder that life is ever changing. It's never consistent. And yeah. It's not something to be lamented or, feel sorry for yourself. I hear a lot of people griping about 2022 and what a rough year it was. I will certainly say that for the past 15 years, my New Year's have been rather extravagant. And it's snowing a little bit. We'd always enjoy sirloin and lobster tails, big lobster tails too. And lobster tails were tradition and almost a superstition to ensure prosperity in the next year, or a sign of hoped for prosperity, I guess you would say, and success. Which to some degree I've achieved that success, and I'm where I want to be in terms of my career. But it's definitely snowing. I think 2022 was bad. It was rough, but you need to forge ahead. And my thing this year is going to be, make someday today. I think that's going to be my mantra for 2023. Make someday today. For too long, I've been just overextended. There were years when I was coaching 2 teams and didn't have 2 little league teams, and managing a division, and running three productions a year for different drama troops, and going to school, and yeah, it's just been nuts. And So I think 2023 will find that perhaps it's time to be a little more egocentric, take care of myself, do the things that I've been wanting to do and that I've been putting off for 15 years. For 15 plus years, that trail's been calling my name. For 15 years I said someday I will start that trail and I'm going to finish it. So 15 years plus, actually, probably since I was about 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. I distinctly remember my buddies, Chad, Jeff, and Steve, we would frequently daydream and plan, of course, while we were drinking. See, back when we were talking about this, we were there to not necessarily camp, but to tie one on and have a good time. But that's okay. Whatever you do is whatever you do, you know. We're still out there. But yeah. So my goal for this New Year's, again, is to make someday today. I want to hike 6+ segments. I think that'd be a good start. There's probably 100 segments. I don't even know. There's no way I'm going to do this trail in a year, especially if I have to keep doubling back on myself. But I think I can do it. So my New Year's resolution is not necessarily to finish the Ice Age Trail, but rather to start it and make a dent in it. This year I finished the year with 779 miles, which is almost, well, it's a little over half of the Ice Age Trail. But I'm not going to be able to put miles on that trail every single day like I did on my 2022 challenge. So my other goal is to do 2,000. My other goal is to do 1,023 kilometers, which is going to be 636 miles, basically. But it's an interesting thing. You know, I found that once you change, you know, a lot of people, like, one of the top New Year's resolutions is, I want to lose weight. You know, that's a top one. That's one you hear a lot. Mine, I used to do the same thing. I was guilty of the same thing, you know. Would do it, and then I wouldn't see results in the first 2 to 3 weeks, and I'd give up on it, you know. And what I found was, like, once I changed my perspective once I changed my goals, once I changed the way I looked at it, once I said, hey, you know what, I'm gonna try to hike, I'm gonna try to walk 1 mile every day. I'm gonna try to hit the gym, you know, once a week. I'm going to see if I can do it every week for 52 weeks. That's my goal, you know. Not even on a certain day, you know. For me, it was definitely, I'm going to see if I can hike 1,022 kilometers. And interestingly enough, once I started doing that and I was dedicated to that, and the weight loss came on its own. It was a byproduct of me meeting my other goals, which was, you know, a welcomed payoff, of course. But on November 4th, I got to realize the completion of that goal. And oddly enough, just as a recap, I ended up hiking the last 1.5 miles of that with a backpack on that actually weighed the same amount as the weight I had lost during the challenge. And I live streamed that, and it was a lot of fun. That was out at Belleville Cabins at Beaver Creek Point. It's an amazing place. Amazing place. Got quite the little fire going on here, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I think that's the one thing, too, to remember. I mean, things since 2020 have been different. You know, different for everybody. 2021 was certainly different. 2022 was different. And I think that, you know, just because it's different doesn't mean that it's bad. I'm actually plenty warm out here. This is amazing. It's such a great night. My hands aren't even cold. Not that anybody cares, but I got my Guinness Zero there. My tonic and water. And then I'm going to show you guys. I got the Star of the Evening, if I can get it open. Pardon me for 1 second while I set this down. The main attraction for the evening. I'll turn my headlamp on. Pay attention to what I'm framing up there. Like that. I keep getting warnings. The main attraction for the evening is the Cohiba. And so, I guess I'll wrap all of this up with a toast. And I find it polite to, if you're gonna offer a toast, you offer 3 things so that your guests can take their pick. So I think my toast will be to Renaissances, to the new year, and to old friends. So a toast to those 3 things. You take your pick. 2023, let's make some day today, for sure. There's better things on the horizon. So enough of that babbling. Have fun. Get hammered. Enjoy your night. Happy New Year. So, there has been a winter weather advisory put in place for Bailey's Harbor. Don't know where that's really at in relation to me, but it's definitely snowing, and the temperature has now definitely dropped. Definitely dropped. Previously it was comfortable. Now it's starting to feel that temperature drop, and my fingers are getting cold. What I think is interesting is you can hear the snow hitting the ice if you listen. Come back over here by the fire because my hands are getting cold. In fact, I'm gonna put here in a couple seconds, put my hands back in my pockets.